first National Trans Visibility March took place on September 28, 2019 in Washington, D.C. With over 5,300 attendees, this historic event brought together both transgender individuals and allies from all over the United States.
We are tired of fighting for our country on foreign soil and then being told that we are no longer fit to serve. We are tired of our murders going without any justice and our murderers out there free. We want to be free, and that's why we are here.
I want you to repeat after me. I am here. I am here. Yes, ma'am.
We need to take back our narrative. We are not victims. We are not statistics. We are not tragedies. We are waiting to thrive, and this is our best year yet, because we aren't here simply to be visible. We are here to be victorious. So when we move forward today, let us press forward with purpose, let us press forward with passion, and let us know that the fight has just begun.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for Leveraging Your Authentic Self to Build Your Legacy. My name is Stephen Garabell. My pronouns are he, him, and his, and I am the LGBTQ2+ Business Development Officer for TD Bank, America's most convenient bank. We are excited to be here to continue our partnership with the National Trans Visibility March. Leveraging your authentic self is an important part of being an entrepreneur and will help further develop the script for how you create your legacy. Your business is more than just a means to make money. It is an asset that can help you thrive, survive, make impact, and be happy. We all have experienced a business legacy. This is commonly associated with a family business passed on for generations to keep the culture or product alive. As an LGBT entrepreneur, your legacy is even more crucial. The impact will be left on your chosen family and your community. Your business legacy is the impact it will make on its culture, community, and customers after you have either sold or passed on your business to someone else. Join us today to learn more about how to leverage your authentic self, grow your asset, write your story, and leave a legacy. I will now turn it over to my colleague, Sean Moore, who will take on our program. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Steve. I am Sean Moore. My pronouns are he, him, his. I am a second-level support specialist within the tech support department of TD Bank, and I also serve on our Metro PA New Jersey Forever Proud Business Resource Group that supports our LGBTQ2+ colleagues and community members. I am also a trans-identifying entrepreneur for various creative services like graphic design, photography, videography, and editing. You can visit my website at www.more.creativeservices.com. You can also connect with me by following me on Instagram at beats1t. May I begin with saying it is an absolute honor to be here with you all today. Welcome everyone to Leveraging Your Authentic Self to Build Your Legacy. A humongous thank you to TD Bank and the National Trans Visibility March for putting this event together and providing a platform for queer voices to be heard. Initiatives like this are empowering and so very important and very much so needed. Entrepreneurship holds the potential to create wealth, improve living standards, and create empowerment and employment opportunities for the trans and non-binary community, all of which are badly needed. For those identifying as trans or non-binary, securing reliable and decently waged employment is no easy feat. Proven even more difficult is advancing your career, sometimes even with a college degree, especially for trans identifying women. Trans and non-binary entrepreneurship have the potential to change that narrative. When embarking on an entrepreneurial journey, an effective way to learn is from fellow entrepreneurs and business owners. Together, TD Bank and the National Trans Visibility March have brought together several amazing entrepreneurs to share their journeys. Without further delay, I'd like to give a warm welcome to our guest speakers. It is with great pleasure that I introduce these incredible entrepreneurs and small business owners. Please help me welcome Naomi Wright from Haute Couture, Braxton Fleming from Stealth Bros & Co., Sean Ebony Coleman from Destination Tomorrow, and lastly, but most certainly not the least, Giselle Hicks from Slade Page Shade Boutique. It is an absolute pleasure to meet all of you. On behalf of TD Bank, we are most thrilled to have you all here with us today. Naomi, thank you so much for joining us. Can you please share a little about yourself and your business?
Yeah. So my name is Naomi Wright. My pronouns are she, her. I have two businesses, but currently the one I'm Haute Couture is the global brand. So I started off, I make and sell custom clothing. So costumes for a lot of cosplays for drag queens, etc., etc. I've done proms. And then just recently this year is when I started Haute Couture Cosmetics. So that's when it officially launched, was in, I want to say about March. And so it's a little bit smaller. So I'm starting with a 25-can palette. Can I show you? Can I show it?
Sure.
Might as well, right? So it's my 20. It's the palette is my. Sorry if I don't know what the layer for.
Nice. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's nice.
That one. I know the ring light's kind of whatever. Yeah. Anyway, it's a 25-pan palette full thing, and then I have Jumbo Beauty Blender sponges. I know it feels like a commercial, but I'm just showing you what I have. And then so they're about 2 times bigger than the average, like Beauty Blender sponges on the market right now. And then we have 8 style lashes. Oh. And so the theme of it is really like an old Hollywood, golden Hollywood type feel. So it's called the Golden Hollywood palette. So all of the lashes, there's 8 styles. They are named after a different Black old Hollywood actress. So we have like Diana Ross, Lena Horne, Dorothy Dandridge, Tiffany Tyson. We have Patty McDaniel, so on and so on and so on. So that was kind of the basis of my. That's my inspiration was actresses. I'm very into entertainment. I'm a performer myself, and so that really is what kind of propelled the line. And if you look at even on the individual palettes, they have like artistic names, so Spotlight, Agent, Choreography, Tattoo, etc. And so that's the basis of it.
That is awesome. Yes, my wife was checking out the palette last night when I was showing her all of you all's Instagram pages. Okay. Might I say there's a few items in cart she is ready to pull the trigger on.
Let me know, I'll give a little 10% off.
There you go. Naomi, thank you so much for sharing with us. Question for you. Have you ever experienced any challenges in your professional journey as a trans or non-binary identifying business owner?
Currently, I have not. I will say that because of, I think, the the business that I'm in, I probably am sure do a little bit different of more of an office setting, but because
Okay.
I'm more in cosmetics kind of that line, it hasn't been. I haven't received it yet. Because of course,
Gotcha.
I
Right.
won't yet, not necessarily now. I haven't had a lot of pushback as far as being trans or non-binary yet. So,
Okay.
lucky I haven't, but I'm sure it'll come eventually, and then have to deal with it then. But
It's always a wonderful thing when those moments don't arise. Definitely a good thing.
It's a blessing.
Yes, absolutely. Braxton, thank you so much for joining us, brother. Um, can you please share a little about yourself and your business with us?
Yes, absolutely. Obviously, my name is Braxton Fleming. I'm a licensed practicing nurse for the past 11 years. I'm also the founder and CEO of a company called Stealth Bros and Co., which is a luxury doc kit supply company that provides travel and at-home personal storage for hormone replacement therapy needs and other medical necessities. I actually launched this business right out of my childhood home, just in need to create funds for my own top surgery and to become more involved with my community. But it just triumphed, and now we're serving so many other communities the HIV community, IVF, diabetics, pretty much anyone who has injectable needs or medical needs that need to store their medication in a safe place. We've also grew to create a Stealth Bros support fund, which financially aids transgender individuals for their top surgery needs or any surgery needs that they're going through. We help aid them each year. We give away a certain percentage of our profits, which is really, really awesome.
It's
And we are
amazing.
also a certified LGBT BE through NGLCC.
Wonderful.
Cool.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Definitely a fan. I have two bags upstairs currently. I love them. Definitely a big fan.
Thank
Thank
you so
you. Thank you
much.
for that.
Thank you.
And question for you also. What was the
Yes.
key driving force in your decision to becoming an entrepreneur?
I just want to first say that I love this question, and the second thing is the key force in becoming an entrepreneur is literally my life. It is my life's path. Both of my parents are entrepreneurs. It's literally in my blood to be a go-getter and to go after it. So I just feel like everything that I've been through throughout my life, through my career with my nursing, it's literally been my life's path to end up where I am today as far as being an entrepreneur. So I just feel like it was just destined for me specifically.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Giselle, thank you for joining us. It's good to have you.
Yeah.
Can you please share a little bit with everyone about yourself and your business as well?
No problem. I'm Giselle Nicole. I am owner of Slave Paid Shade Boutique and Beauty. We've been in business since 2017. Um, and basically, what we do is offer de-stressed and destroyed denim, Levi denim pieces, custom pieces. Makeup services, lace install services, just a range of different beauty services that we do have. But our main thing that we do is offer different styles of clothing, custom clothing, and women apparel.
Awesome. Awesome. I love the jeans, by the way. My wife was checking those out as well. Definitely looking forward to making a pit stop at the boutique the next time I find myself in Florida for sure. For sure.
Definitely. I look
Um,
forward to seeing you.
um, do you feel being trans or non-binary identifying has hindered or propelled the success of your business in any way, and how so?
Um, when I first started Slave Pay Shade, I had wanted to branch off into doing male clothing as well. And I had came into very halt, like extreme halt, because it was hard for me to market to the male audience.
Okay.
So that was more so of my thing. I wanted to broaden Slave Page Shade so it can be for men and for women. But it was very hard with trying to branch off into the male clothing industry and stuff. And I knew it was, more to do with me being trans. It was, I wouldn't receive I would try to be as open as possible, inviting as
Right.
possible to try to get people in. But of course, people will always have their pushbacks, their holdbacks of what they don't want to do and stuff and don't want to be
Right.
uncomfortable, which I understood. So I just got out of, thinking catering towards the males and just stayed with, catering to the females.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, bias is something. I
Yeah.
feel you. It's a
Yeah.
shame that a lot of people can't, grow enough within themselves to
Hmm.
go beyond that. It's really sad.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Um, Sean, thank you so much for joining us as well. Can you please share a little about yourself and your business also?
Sure. I'm Sean Ebony Coleman. I use he, him pronouns. I am the founder and executive director at Destination Tomorrow, the Bronx LGBT Center. And then I'm also the managing partner of Sean Ebony Coleman Consulting. So I have a for profit and a non for profit. With the non for profit, we provide direct services to LGBT community members, right? So our motto is economic empowerment. I want to give you the tools to be successful in life. So it's a GED program, it's a job readiness program, it's financial literacy in partnership with TD Bank. Thank y'all. Is HIV testing, syringe exchange, and we've just branched into doing housing. Right, one of the driving forces with DT is we go based on what community needs. Right, so we'll do a community focus
Right.
group, and one of the most pressing issues, well, two of the most pressing issues, were housing and food insecurity. So we acquired a 16-unit building and we opened what we call a switch program. And the switch program is emergency housing for trans and gender nonconforming folks 25 and over. And we wanted to be very specific about that age group because that's where we identified the gap in service, right? So you have LGBT youth housing programs, you have LGBT senior housing programs. You didn't have anything in the middle and you didn't have anything specifically for that target population. And it's also
Right.
for former and current sex workers because we recognize that sex work is real work, right? But our goal is to show you how to continue to transition into like what does more permanent housing look like for you. Um,
That is
we
amazing.
also are the grant manager for the Transcend Community Impact Fund, and what Transcend does is powered by Gilead. Hey Gilead, I love you. Thank you. It's powered by Gilead. It's $1 million fund, and what they've allowed us to do is to re-gift the money. Right to date, we've given away about $810,000 to 32 different trans organizations. It's a national fund. And we're looking for grassroots organizations whose budgets don't exceed $250,000. And our goal is to grow them beyond $250,000 so they then can go to Gilead and become a direct service grantee from Gilead.
Mm.
Wow.
We've been successful in that. We have 5 so far that have graduated beyond Transcend and are now direct grantees of Gilead. In my role, I feel like I do a lot. Maybe I should stop. And I also feel like I need a booster seat in here. I feel like a little low. Um,
Hey, I'm
Sean,
height challenged too, so I
yeah,
know
I
what
feel
you
like I
mean.
need a little booster seat. The consulting company grew organically, right? Because I had so many folks that claimed they did work with the trans community,
Right.
and they would get these grants and loans or partnerships with corporations to do trans-centered work, and then it's like, oh my god, what do we do? It's like, well, you wrote it down, you don't know how to do what you wrote down. And then
Right.
they would and then they would come to us, and it's like, okay, so we're going to do consulting, and we're going to do consulting with companies. And it was really about being able to inform how companies engage the trans and gender nonconforming non-binary communities, and making sure that the messaging is on task, and then also making sure that they understood visibility does not mean, it doesn't guarantee your protection or your safety, right? So then looking at
Right.
ways that because we've increased visibility, we've in some ways put ourselves in danger. Just think of these
Right.
anti-trans laws that are being passed. So making sure that companies and small businesses and whomever else understand the responsibility that they take on as well if they're going to
Right.
engage this community. And then as far as hiring, like making sure their policies are on point, right? If you're going to hire us,
Right.
you need to make sure that your healthcare benefits are trans affirming and trans friendly. So going in and looking at their policies to make sure that all of those things are taken care of. So those are some of the things I do.
Right.
Amazing.
With that said, all heroes do not wear capes. That is for sure. Thank you for
Thank you.
that. Quick question for you also, Sean. Are there any resources or advice that you'd like to provide or share with aspiring or fellow trans and non-binary entrepreneurs?
A few. My first one is that you're a brand, whether folks tell you that or not. So monitor your behaviors,
Yeah.
and act accordingly, because the things you do, even when you're not in the workspace, people are paying
Right.
attention to, and it can attach itself to you, and it's easy to get a bad reputation. It's hard to shake one. Right?
Oh, yes.
So pay attention to the fact that you're a brand. The second
Absolutely.
thing is, it has to be your passion, right? When I started Destination Tomorrow, we started in 2009. We didn't get any money until 2012. I was broke. My support system, I had to lean into my support system. Like, if I didn't have a place to stay, I'd be homeless still. So make sure that it's your passion, because there are going to be so many things that you're going to face that's going to make you want to stop. And I think that's the
Right.
reason more of us are not successful, because we don't have those key things in place that when it really, really gets tight, we can lean on, right? You can lean on somebody that can help you with a bill, or you can lean on somebody just to have a discussion with. So it has to be your passion.
Yes.
Understand the importance of networking, right? Social media will have you believing that it's so easy to be a CEO or entrepreneur.
Right.
You see all of the success stories. You don't see any of the failures, right?
Right.
You have to make sure that you're like, there is no wrong room. So when you're entering a space, you need to make sure you know some of those folks in that room, and more importantly, they know you. And then you also need to make sure, if you're in a room and you're the only person like us, that you're opening doors for other people, because that's building coalition.
Absolutely.
Those would be some of my suggestions. And take money from wherever you can get it. People are saying to me, I'm keeping a buck. People are saying to me, well, would you take money from the cannabis industry? Yeah.
If they give it to me.
It's all green.
Yeah, why would I? So yeah.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Each of your businesses are unique from the fellow panelists. These next two questions will be most impactful if answered by each of you. Braxton, let's start with you. How did you raise funding for your business?
Your mic off.
Braxton, I think you're muted.
Your mic off.
Oh, there we go. Sorry about that,
There we
everybody. Okay, so the funding that I used was from my nursing career. So I actually just applied for a credit card. I actually had the credit card. I just had finished paying it off. And I said, I am not spending this again. And then my mind went going again. And I decided to say, you know what? I've spent money on senseless things in the past. Let me apply this money to something that could possibly help me. So that's what I did. I just took my credit card. It was like $4,000 on there, and I maxed it out, got my product, started my LLC, and the rest is history. That's pretty much how it started. I really didn't have anybody to help me or to give me any money. There wasn't no, grandma with thousands of dollars. So I had to just put it on my shoulders and carry that weight myself and just move forward with my career and plan to start a new career as far as an entrepreneur.
Thank you for sharing that. Naomi?
So I started off, I was already in like a corporate office. I was working for the credit union, and so I was kind of just using like, bonus money I got. So that was kind of just to start my LLC to get those smaller things going. And then after doing my research and getting all the amount for my cosmetics, and then even from doing clothing, etc., I was still really having trouble. And I couldn't really even use a credit card because of, some foolish things I'd done in the past. So my credit wasn't the best at the time. And so it was just kind of a struggle at first to try to figure out how I was going to do it. And then I went home for a little bit. I'm from DC. So I went home for a little bit, and I was with my mom. We were just shopping, just casually, and I was like, I was telling her about my cosmetics line and what I'm doing, and everything, showing her all the products, et cetera, et cetera. And just casually, she was like, "Well, how are you going to pay for it?" And I was like, "I was kind of do like maybe crowdfunding or all that, Kickstarter, etc."
Right.
And she was like, "Well, she paused a little bit, and then after a while, she was like, why don't I just give you the money to start it?" And so that was kind of how I got the bigger funds to start to get all my products going. So basically, yeah. So family. So like you were saying before, a good support system is amazing because I have had a great support system specifically for my family to at least get it going. The marketing portion of it is still on me, but at least I have the products to start that. So it really was a boost, a jump off to get me to where I slowly need to be going. So yeah, so family basically was kind of that, family and myself, but mostly family.
Right. Thank you for sharing that. Giselle.
I hate to talk about this part, but yeah, I used sex work to fund my business when I first started. I didn't have, I wasn't working into the world and working world and everything. I was doing sex work. So that's what I used to fund my business. And then I had clients that offered to, give me extra money or invest into me. So I was like, okay, thumbs up. This one guy that I was seeing, who's now my husband, we were I used to always talk to him and tell him about what I was doing, and then he ended up drawing from his retirement for me, and that funded everything. That's how I was able to get into a building and get all of that stuff. But in the beginning, it was just sex work, so I would just use my coins to go and get denim pieces, de-stress them, destroy them, sell them, and then use that money to keep pouring back into the company.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. Sean.
Giselle, don't be like you said. You hate that part of the story. That's the amazing part of the story because sex work is real work, and you're proof positive of the end result. So tell that story proud because you're inspiring a lot of girls when you tell that story. Yeah. I just had to say that. I'm sorry. On one question, I mean minding other people's business.
Yeah, absolutely. No worries. It is a sad reality of our community, unfortunately.
And they have, and they'll try to make us believe like it's something to be ashamed of. Like it's absolutely not. Like you did that, and I'm super proud of you. So,
sure.
Thank you.
I also leverage. Okay, so I'm telling you that. This other company fired me, suckers, because they said that I was bringing my friends into the space to let them hang out. It was trans community members that had nowhere else to go, so they fired me, and I cashed out my 401k and decided that because they didn't recognize us and I didn't see myself in the Bronx providing services, that I was going to create what was missing, and that's how I actually did it.
So, awesome. That's awesome.
What was the job, if I may ask?
Do you want me to really tell you?
You can. I mean, if you don't want to,
I'm curious myself because I've had a similar situation.
The organization is called Bronx Aid Service. They don't go by that name anymore, but you folks in New York, y'all know who I'm talking about. But Bronx Aid Services fired me because they said I was bringing my friends into the space and that this wasn't a space for my friends to hang out. And I was like, wait, so because I'm trans, I know every trans person in New York City, and I'm just going to tell them to come over? Right. And if that's the case, you should keep me around because at some point, you should,
right.
No,
won't it benefit the business?
No, yeah, absolutely. That doesn't make sense to. That's weird.
Their contracts were specifically for MSM or YMSM, and they felt like the trans community was taking up space. But that's another discussion for another time. We can really go in on that one, but they felt like we were taking up space.
Okay. Wow. So some of the views that people have, when I think I've seen it all, there's just that next person or that next company that still never cease to amaze me with some of the things that they have the goal to say and even do. It's mind blowing and it's saddening. Really, it's a shame.
If I can just say, the person that actually fired me, is now reaching out to work with me. So that's gratifying.
Look. So karma's always working overtime. Look at that. That's a beautiful thing. Look at how the tables turn, and hearing things like that, I'm sure will inspire a lot of viewers, persevering through a lot of what others may say and think of you is only a portion of the battle. But if you can find that strength within yourself, a
Yep.
lot of beautiful things can materialize and
Yep.
manifest in that, for sure.
Yeah.
Sean, do you have any particular story behind how you went about funding your businesses?
Me, Sean.
Yes.
Sean.
I just said that that's how I went about the
Funding
funding
it.
of, yeah, through
Okay,
the,
that's
through
the
the,
primary.
401k.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
1K.
Okay, gotcha. My apologies.
No
Um,
worries.
so thank you for sharing that with us. Funding is an absolute important piece of the process when embarking on an entrepreneurial journey. In most cases, it takes money to make money, as they say. In addition to funding, marketing and advertising your business is just as crucial for continued success, if not one of the most important ongoing processes in running a business. In most cases, failing or succeeding to effectively attract or market your brand to potential investors, customers, and clients can be a make or break factor with a small business venture. Speaking of marketing, Giselle, let's start with you this time. How do
Mm-hmm.
you market and advertise your business, and which tactics have been most successful for you?
Instagram, social media is my friend when it comes to marketing my business and gaining new customers and everything. Social media. My Instagram, and more so my Facebook, because it's different groups that you can go into and
Right,
share what you do. They have different small business groups and everything. So I would go in those and share the photos of the pieces that I have, my flyers, all type of different stuff, offer like discounts and stuff. And that's how, and I'm online as well. So I would share my online stuff, and that's how I market it. That's how I started my marketing. And then with just now, I just go out putting out flyers and everything, and hashtag, hashtag, hashtag.
right. Absolutely. Definitely, social media is definitely a very good tool, I feel like personally, when it comes to promoting and marketing things that have to do with businesses. Some businesses may be better suited utilizing different avenues, but if you know what you're doing and how to read the analytics, from the various tools that they have available, like on Facebook and
Mhm.
Instagram, that definitely can be useful with that. So I definitely agree with you there for sure,
And
100%.
content creators was
Yeah.
another help for me too. I would pay the people who have a huge following to
Right,
share my flyers and different stuff, or do like different funny videos and stuff with using
right,
different things from my company, and they would share that, and that would get me potential customers as well and get me followers.
right, right.
Yeah.
Um, Sean, how do you market and advertise your business, and which tactics have been most successful in your experience?
I let the kiddos keep up with that. That social media stuff is a lot to try to understand. But we use all of the social media. I'm not sure if we're on TikTok yet, but for Destination Tomorrow, we use all of the social media. We do digital flyers. We have a newsletter that goes out that promotes the events that we have coming up. We do a lot of
Okay,
word of mouth. We're heavy into the ballroom community, so we have folks in the ballroom community within their houses that'll pass the information along. So social networks we also use. We have a youth coalition, so the youth coalition actually puts out a lot of the stuff that we're doing, and they share it on their social media, which gets folks to come in, partner organizations and agencies within our local district. We hand out flyers to them and digital flyers to them, and they also promote it and pass it along. With my consulting business, a lot of it so far has been word of mouth. Right, somebody
right,
hired me to do something, and now someone else is reaching out because they heard the success the others had. I'm looking to like really understand how to utilize social media for the consulting business as well, because I'm really not that good at it. I can post a picture, but all that creating content and stuff, I'm not real good at that yet, and I have no idea what the TikTok stuff is. So I'm trying to learn those things. But those are future goals.
right. Absolutely. Yeah, we could definitely connect on that, because the
Yeah, no problem.
creating content is something that myself and a few of my associates do specialize in as well. So that's something we can definitely connect on at a later date.
We calling you. We calling you.
For sure. For sure. Um, Braxton?
Yes.
Yes. How do you
So
market your business?
yes, so the way that I started to market Stealth Bros was I actually created genuine relationships with influencers within
Mm-hmm.
my community um, prior to even starting the business. And then once I did start the business, it was easier for me to connect with them and to say, "Hey, can I send you this? Will you repost that?" Or like I would just give them the option. I would leave it open ended because I feel like nowadays everyone's trying to be an entrepreneur, and the way
Right.
that they sell is they just say, "Will you repost this?" And that's probably the worst line you can do to get someone to repost something for you.
Yeah.
Right.
So the best way to do it is, I think, just genuine connections at first, and then you can reach those larger influencers with thousands of followers to help promote you.
Yeah.
Right.
But Instagram obviously was our main platform, and then Facebook and TikTok and YouTube. But now what we do is we continue obviously the influencer marketing because that's always great. But now I have paid agency marketing where we focus on like SEOs, email marketing, and as well as TikTok marketing. A lot of people don't realize that TikTok offers marketing now
TikTok is
through
huge.
TikTok, and you can actually have an influencer create a video for you on their page, get the copy link from that influencer, and then have paid marketing on that influencer's page. So basically, you are flooding followers to that paid influencer, and that influencer is now showing their 800,000 followers your product on their video.
Right.
So that's another big thing that I'm tapping into right now, which has really been very helpful in bringing in a lot of sales. So it's just pretty much keeping up with the
Mm-hmm.
algorithms and what is what is important right now for Instagram and what is important right now for TikTok. And one other thing that I feel like is really helpful right now, as far as Instagram, is carousels. Carousels are the ones where you swipe, 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 swipe. Those are actually being placed in front of audiences as well as reels more with your photography. So photography isn't really getting what it used to 6 months ago to a year ago. But if you make carousels with educational information about your brand or about your community, you're more likely to pull in sales, and you're not directly selling, which helps your audience better engage with you and want to create a longer relationship with you.
Mm.
Right. Right. That's amazing information that you shared. Thank you for that.
No problem.
Naomi?
I'm gonna have to write that down too because
Yeah.
I didn't know that as well. Let me go put that in there. But I'm actually Facebook as well. Facebook, Instagram. I just got a TikTok not too long ago.
Okay.
Really trying to get into the social media market. I'm probably to give it to you too, Sean, because honestly, even prior to having a business, I really wasn't good at social media. I was kind of like I'll post when I feel like it, not like I post, you know what I mean, like continuously every day. And that's really how you put the algorithm, posting every day and making sure you have the right times, the hashtags. And it's very much like a system or a science to it that I'm just really not good at. So it's been like a learning curve for me to try to do that. Another one that's really good that I've started doing because, like I said, I'm not best at it, is Fiverr. The app Fiverr. You can go on there and get any kind of stuff. If I wanted someone to do a professional graphic poster for me, if I wanted even someone to run my management, if I wanted a virtual assistant, all of that, you can find all of that on there. It's various prices, so that's the nice thing about it too. It's not like you just going to one company and their price is like $1,500 every 2 weeks.
Right.
It's like, you know what I mean? Like it goes based upon your budget, going off of that. So that's been a helpful one too. Has been Fiverr.
Yeah, that's an awesome resource.
I'm not a graphic designer. You know what I mean? That's not
right.
And then also as far as marketing, word of mouth has been really good for me because I'm a part of the drag community as well. So, and especially even when I'm creating my products, I wanted to make sure that my products were on the level of like a MAC or something highly pigmented, like a Mayron or even a Pylon, because of that's the community that I'm a part of. So if it can sustain 18 hours of a drag show, then the makeup is good. You know what I mean? Like you wanted to
right, for sure.
Like that. So like you said, the balls, I'm definitely infiltrated into the drag community. I would go to a lot of the pageants and I would set up booths too. That's kind of actually my first time actually selling my stuff was at a pageant booth. And that was kind of the word of mouth there. I've been able to speak with a lot of the Drag Race girls, so they have a higher platform. You know what I mean? So I've known of them
Right.
quite previously too. So it wasn't like you said, I was just organically getting to know folks that I didn't know.
Yeah, genuine connections and networking.
And then the nice part about it is once you within that community, if the product is good, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, like check this out," and they'll do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they help you out and let you know that this is a good product, and so.
Right. Thank you.
Kind of on all of those, and so basically, yeah. Trying to get my marketing better. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, is working on that social media boost. And I feel like a bad millennial, I guess. But
trial and error, I feel like, is the majority of marketing techniques. A lot of trial and error.
Oh,
A lot of people have the naive misconception that you can just follow someone else's path or formula that they have, and that you'll just take off and be successful. And that's not at all the case.
No.
Thank you all for sharing all of that invaluable information. It's much appreciated. One of the best ways to learn and grow as an entrepreneur, in addition to your own personal experience of trial and error, is to learn from fellow entrepreneurs' experiences. So again, thank you all for sharing. It takes determination, courage, hustle, and grit to start a business. You have to see your vision and a clear path to your goals when no one else can, and it is not easy by any means. Yet here you all are, against all the odds, despite all those that question the validity of our community's existence. Not only have you all started businesses, you all have done so as your authentic selves, that is courageous and inspiring beyond measure. You all are living proof that anything is possible once you silence the echo of the naysayers' voices within yourself and persevere. The existence of each of your businesses is a beacon of hope for me, for our trans and non-binary community, for our youth, and for aspiring entrepreneurs from within our community. I want to sincerely thank all of you, truly.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And all the other LGBTQ2+ entrepreneurs out there for your immeasurable courage. More importantly, I commend all of you for your decision to be visible when so very many of us are unable to do so safely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right? Luckily,
thank you.
We do have a little bit of time left, before we have to wrap up. So I'd like to give all of you an opportunity to perhaps spotlight any products or services, events, or perhaps a giveaway being offered by one of your businesses that you might like to shed some light on.
Sure, I'll start. Basically, right now, Stealth Bros has 15% off. So if you go to our website and you sign up at the link, you'll receive an automatic 15% off, and there'll be a code automatically generated to your checkout. And then on top of that, for the next 20 people who sign up, I'll be doing a giveaway of a junior adopt kit. So if you sign up, you're going to receive that 15% off, and you possibly could be the winner of a free junior adopt kit, and I'll reach out to you via email.
Oh, I'll go. So, you guys, as I told you guys, I'm online as well. My boutique is online. So you can use the promo code DENIM and receive 25% off of your purchases if you would like to purchase from me. And I would greatly appreciate it.
As well, for me, towards the end of the month, or to the end of the month, for this, I did it. It'll be under, I wrote it down, I'm sorry, Trans March Live 21, I believe is the thing, but you'll get 15% off my site as well.
Okay.
That'll be right up the section.
All right, wonderful.
I don't have no sales. I don't have any sales or discounts. I'm
No worries. Do you guys want to share any of your website addresses or Instagram handles, Facebook handles, anything like that?
So so the business on Facebook, it's just Haute Couture, how it's spelled. Instagram, it's haute.couture. Because I couldn't get the legal rights for the other one. And then my website is www.hautecouture.com. So I think that's, I'm sorry. And Twitter is @hautecouture.com. So the only one you have that's the difference is Instagram, haute.couture. Everything else will just be first and last.
And
Okay.
for me, you can find me at stealthbrosco.com, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Stealth Bros Co. You already know. That's it.
And I'm Slade Page Shade. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Majority on Instagram is where I'm operating off of. And my website is www.sladepageshadellc.bigcartel.com. And yeah, that's where we are.
All right.
And destinationtomorrow.org is the website, and at Sean E. Coleman on all social media platforms.
Thank you all
Definitely
for
gonna follow
sharing
you guys.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. So I remember.
Yes, follow me.
Yes.
Everybody
Followers are
follow.
important. My name is Crystal.
Giselle, what's yours again?
Slade Page Shade, SLAYED, PAID Shade, SHADE. Dot boutique. Did you see it?
Okay, perfect. So Instagram, I'm adding you now. Stealth Bros now.
Yes.
Perfect. Sean.
Oh, at
Beats.
Sean. Oh, what's Sean?
Oh, I didn't know which Sean you were talking to.
Oh, sorry. Sean Coleman.
It's destinationtomorrow.org is the website, and at Sean E. Coleman on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. And Braxton is going to help me with the TikTok and all that other stuff, right? Braxton and Sean, I'm going to lean on you both.
TikTok also is haute couture.
Yes. It's intense. The Instagram and TikTok and all that.
TikTok for me.
I was literally making a TikTok before we got on this call.
TikTok for us, please, or tips if you could.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely could use a few tips or two on TikTok and Snapchat. From my understanding, from what my younger sister has told me, is still a biggie. I don't know if that's with her generation, both of ours, or what. But TikTok and Snapchat, you can forget it.
Seriously, but I think the biggest thing for Reels and TikToks is people put too much emphasis, even myself, on making it perfect. And that's the problem right there, is that they're going to put Reels in front of your photography on Instagram all day. Like, that's what they're doing right now. So even if your Reel doesn't look as great as your professional photo, it's still going to get more likes and more views, because that's what they're trying to push. Any new feature that they come out with, if like Instagram comes up, you know how you're swiping and it's like, oh, there's a new feature for Instagram, you should use that feature, because they want that feature to get out in front of more people. So it's like you have to really watch what's really going on Instagram in order to make sure you're on top of the trends of what is going to place your content in front of the most people. But not making it perfect is the best way to do it. It's like, just, and then you have to have confidence, because everyone's like, do I look good? Do I not look good?
Right.
You just got to go out there and live your best life without caring. And that's pretty much it.
Can you explain that carousel thing again?
Yes. So I just started this. This isn't an LGBT person, but I feel like he's really, really great person to follow. His name is Brock Johnson on Instagram, and he is an Instagram master, you can say, and he pretty much teaches you how to use Instagram and carousels and reels, and he posts all the most like recent like viral reels so that you can use those sounds and recreate to your niche. But with the carousels, it's pretty much just like, I use a platform called PicMonkey, and it's an app where you can create really like professionalized posters. And what you want to try to do is keep your posters on your Instagram to your brand. So, like, if you have certain colors for your brand, then you
Right.
want to focus on those colors. If you have a certain font for your brand, then you always want to use that specific font, because it's going to, over time, your followers, even if your logo isn't present, they're going to have the feel of your brand off of that.
Right.
So when you create posters, you can put all you like. I personally use different colors because that's just how my brand is. We offer a variety of colors, so we don't have a specific, but I always use the same font. And now I'm kind of getting on the trend. Like for the last like 14 days, if you guys check out my Instagram, you can see how like the one row is like all my carousels. And if you look at the likes, it'll have like 1,200 likes on the carousels. And then
Right.
the photos that I'm paying, $15 to $35 a photo for are 50 likes. So it's very wild how they work. But pretty much what I do is I just put educational information for my community on there, whatever
Right.
they're struggling with, whatever little tips I feel like could benefit them with like self-injection or things that are pertain to my specific niche. That's what I put on there, and people really like it, and it helps people engage with each other. So like they'll be talking amongst themselves in the comments about whatever that carousel was about, and that really, people really like that. That's I don't know why, but they just really like it. So I've just been doing it every single day because it's really been helping. And another really quick thing is on Instagram, I don't know if you guys know, but you can like make a post and then draft it. So if you get a bunch of content in, you can like pretty much create all your content on Sunday and then draft all the posts so that when your days come through during the week, you can just like, okay, I'm going to post at 2 o'clock. I'm going to post at 6. I'm going to post at 9.
Right.
So that this way you're already ready. And even if like, I personally only do it for like 2 or 3 days in advance because we're all so busy and we have so much things to do. You can't do it all. But if you can at least get yourself ahead by a day or two, it'll make the next day a lot easier for you with whatever meetings and whatever else you have going on with running your business. So yeah,
Hootsuite is another one for that one too. App Hootsuite, it's HOO Suite. And
yes, I heard about apps too. Yeah, you can like put the grid on there and everything and make it pretty.
Put everything, and you can actually just set the date. Like put your pictures and your thing, and you set the date, and it'll just run at any time. Or it'll just go at the date that you're saying. So it's, let's say you just want it on Monday, go ahead and do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and just have that done out of the way, so you can focus on other parts of the business. That's another one that I just recently saw about is Hootsuite is a good one.
Yeah, wow, I'm gonna have to write that. I'll take that down.
Yeah, for sure. Those are some great resources that you both.
I honestly forget. I had to like start putting like an alarm.
Yes.
Me
too.
Post today, posted this time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Likewise.
I'm with a company right now that is doing it for me, but they will be done in October. So I'm trying to in this month try to get it together and figure out what to do correctly.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you guys for sharing that. For continued progression with the transgender and non-binary rights and equality and just the community in general, it is extremely important to be visible and actively engaged in allyship as well whenever you can do so safely. Unfortunately, the reality is that most civil rights and equality issues are not properly addressed until the demand for change is too large to be ignored any longer. For that reason, it is paramount for us to show our family, friends, peers, colleagues, and employers, communities, and politicians that we are here, we exist in large numbers, and we are not going anywhere. If we are not visible, then our true numbers will not be counted high enough to make it onto the radar of those who can implement the necessary changes to ensure every human being has equal rights, regardless of the details surrounding their individual uniqueness. With that said, I'd like to pass it over to Sean Coleman to share some impactful thoughts. Sean?
All right, so I hate the word ally, right? Because I think it's overused. But according to Webster's, an ally is defined as one that is associated with another as a helper, a person or group that provides assistance and support in an ongoing effort, activity, or struggle. As a member of the trans community that does direct service work through my non for profit, I've encountered a lot of self proclaimed allies. They come in with their agenda, attempting to create a
Mm,
narrative about our lives that suits that agenda.
mm,
Oftentimes, they have little to no engagement with the impacted members of the trans community. This type of allyship does more harm than good. It creates animosity and confusion, leaving many feeling anger towards those who could truly assist in elevating their voices and their movements. A true ally listens more than they speak, for they understand they're not the experts in the room. A true ally makes space for those without access, providing them a platform to address their concerns in their own voice. A true ally understands that it's not about highlighting a person, but uplifting a community. So all efforts are made with community in mind. A true ally sees themselves as a helper, not the leader or a change maker, but the helper. One of the worst forms of allyship happens during June, when the
mm-hmm,
world is awash in rainbows and corporations hustle to show their solidarity with the LGBT community.
Mhm.
With little to no engagement through the year, just
Mhm.
about every company develops a marketing plan for Pride. From shirts to sandwiches, companies monetize the entire month without making space for the community.
Mhm.
Companies should show their pride year round by hiring, contracting, and showcasing trans led, trans owned businesses. They should
Mhm.
be looking to partner with the trans community around messaging that is inclusive and speaks to the robust commerce produce during this month, along with effective ways to give back. Corporations can be effective allies. In fact, TD Bank is a perfect example of that. TD Bank has been working tirelessly to uplift and empower the trans community. Recognizing that trans business owners are overlooked and under resourced, they created Own It. Own It is a platform that provides a professional development, access to information, and tools to start or expand your business. In my role as the executive director at the Bronx LGBT Center and consultant at Sean Ebony Coleman, I've seen firsthand how through Steve and Barton and the rest of the team at TD Bank, their advocacy has reached back to ensure that the trans community has a voice. They are true allies. To the other true allies or those looking to be allies, let's talk. Like, honestly, talk. It all begins with one conversation. To those taking up space, move or get moved around.
Mhm.
Trans
mm-hmm.
voices are united in expressing our needs and identifying solutions. We will no longer be an afterthought to your agenda, to your parties, or to your funding. Equity is what we need, and our allies should be lining up to elevate this need. To the real allies, let's talk.
All right.
Mhm.
Wow.
That was good.
Thank you for those
Okay.
very much so needed words. And I feel like not said enough.
Mhm.
I really, really, truly do. We definitely need more folks like you to step up and speak out and not bite their tongues, out of fear of, or not sugarcoat it, rather, is a better way to put that,
Mhm.
because I feel like some folks that say that they're allies to our community when it comes to maybe their customers or their clientele, they might shy away from when those opportunities present themselves to really take a stance in support of our community. And that's where it's really a slap in the face, and it's
Mhm.
disheartening to see so many companies do that, because as you've said, Sean, a lot of companies will slap a rainbow on something in June, and some of those companies won't even be necessarily supporting a the Pride Initiative. It'll be more so just everybody. It's June. People are buying things that have rainbows on them. Let's get a rainbow on something and
Mhm.
get it on the shelf so we can, make some sales. And it's sad, but we see that every year, every year.
We need to hold folks accountable too, though. right?
Absolutely.
It's power in people and it's power in a dollar. So if we
Mhm.
decide that they're taking up too much space or they're utilizing our voices wrong, then we should be holding them accountable and like making sure that community understands that. And again, true allies will back us when we hold these companies accountable.
Absolutely. Did any of you all have any thoughts that you wanted to add on to that?
Honestly, I appreciated everything Sean said. That was exactly spot on.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Thank you.
like
Yeah, he covered it.
absolutely.
He covered it.
And the biggest thing from that is you, as an ally, you need to be on the side. You need to be there assisting, helping us, not being the mouthpiece for us
Yeah.
because you're an ally. You're not part of this community technically. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
Yeah.
as an
Right.
ally, you need to be on the side, helping us and assisting us. And then another thing when he said, as far as you can be an ally and say you're an ally, but then when you get in a room with other people, then what are you?
Hmm.
How are you?
Mhm.
How are you helping us then? Because
Right.
while we're here while we're here in front of you and in your face, it's another thing when you're around your friends or you're around in a boardroom where you have the opportunity to uplift us and to give us the props that we need.
Yeah.
What
That's
are you doing?
right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I definitely agree with you. You know, I personally have had many countless experiences where, someone may claim to be an ally, like you said, when they're with you or present with that particular given community that they claim to be an ally of. But when that particular community is no longer present, it's an
Mhm.
entirely different story, and
Mhm.
that's not an
yeah,
ally. Not at all.
no, and it's not an
Not at
ally.
all.
And also, well, I'm cool with it because my cousin is there. It's no, you're an ally.
Right.
That's the
Either
main
you
thing
are or
they
you aren't.
say.
Regardless of whether you know someone or not, you're supposed to be an ally. Period. If you're
Yeah.
an ally, then you're
Right.
not because your friend or your hairdresser or so and so. And no, it's you're an ally is an ally. Period.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it really bothers me, and I hate when I hear folks say, well, I'm okay with you, but with everyone else, it's
But
different. You're different. I'm different. How does that,
yeah,
like what?
it is.
Make it make sense to
Yeah,
me, please.
I don't want to be a token in this narrative. Thank you so much, but like,
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
um,
Exactly.
Crazy.
Wow, what an impactful and inspiring and informative event this has been thus far. I have learned so very much from all of you, um, and I'm most certain that the viewers have as well. Events like this are very much so needed and so very important. I feel the
Mhm.
need to say this again, and not just from the perspective of a TD Bank colleague and employee, but as a member of the trans community. Thank you, truly, to TD Bank
Yeah.
and the National Trans Visibility March team for providing this platform for the trans and non-binary voices to be heard today. I personally
Thank
cannot
you.
say thank you enough because prior to coming to TD Bank, my hours were cut short right after I had gotten married. My wife and I had gotten a new home, and we had just had our beautiful baby boy. I came out to my employer that I was with prior to TD, and I told them, listen, I'm preparing to transition. Our clients are going to be asking questions. I'm going to, the facial hair is going to come in. There's no hiding it. Changes are happening. They're going to ask you guys, and I need to make sure that you guys are well prepared in advance to answer those questions. Maybe we can even come together and formulate a plan on how best to present it when those questions are asked. They congratulated me, commended me for my courage, and so on and so forth. And they met me with my hours being cut. And only to pour salt on the wound, I then was told by someone that I was training under the impression that they were going to fill in when needed. But again, I'm under the impression they didn't need workers as much for the hours that I was originally scheduled for. And one of the individuals I was training shared with me because she felt so guilty sitting next to me and learning all of the tricks of the trade of the particular position that we were working. She told me, I'm being trained
For your
to
job.
replace you.
Oh, wow.
And when she told me that, I know leaving an employer without 2 weeks notice, folks, don't do that. You don't do that. Doesn't look good. But boy, when I say that I was coming out of pocket more in gas to get back and forth to that job after my wife and I had moved than the money I was bringing home, I said, you know what? I walked in there, I handed her my resignation, and she looked at me and said, no, you're not. I said, oh, yes, I am. She said, but what about your run tomorrow? I said, that's not my problem. I said, I'm going to go ahead and clock out and I'm going home. And that was that. So it's I don't think folks realize
Mm-hmm.
how unfair it is for
Mm-hmm.
them to deny our community basic necessities and
Mm-hmm.
basic tools just for us to live, breathe, exist, and take care of our families.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you,
Mm-hmm.
something else I want to share with you all. I caught hell, forgive my language, by a few family members nonetheless when they realized I was doing this event. And they just had to let me know that we had massively different views in life. And they were so sorry about that. Well, I'm so sorry that you're so small minded and little because last time that
Right.
I checked, I
Right.
paid all my bills. I took
Yep.
care of my wife and son, not you. And I'm
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
doing just fine, baby. But
Hmm.
it's sad that a lot of folks feel entitled to be able to say, well, this individual doesn't deserve housing. I do
Right.
though. This individual doesn't deserve health care. Oh, but I do though. This individual shouldn't be able to pull out a loan that's as great as mine because of whatever uniqueness they have separate from myself. But then they're entitled to it. I
Yeah.
don't think people truly understand how ludicrous they sound saying those
Right.
type of things. But I gotta say, I don't want to get upset on camera, Lord. Look, it's all trying to come up. I can't say thank you enough to TD Bank because I went into that. Ah, I'm not gonna do this, y'all. I'm not gonna do this.
Take your time. Take your time.
I went into that interview just to give y'all a little bit of background about me. I didn't share a whole lot today, and I was terrified. I had on my TD green. My mother also works for TD, and she is an advocate through and through. She told me TD Bank doesn't play that mess, Sean. Get your butt in there, you fill out that application, and you go get that job. You're gonna be all right. I went in and I was scared. I was so scared, y'all, because I know all of you guys can resonate with when your appearance doesn't match with that ID yet and
Mm-hmm.
that gender on that ID yet. And it is one of the scariest things for someone to say, I need to know, you know, for paperwork reasons, and you just go, but well, wait a minute. Let me explain something real quick before I hand this to you. And that is such a uncomfortable conversation to have for so very many of us. And when I told them the story, I said, I just want to be honest with you. I told them what happened with my last job, and they told me, you don't have to worry about that. And I was so grateful to hear that because from that moment on, I knew and I felt in my heart that I was in a safe place. And
Mm-hmm.
even though my name had not at that particular time yet been legally changed, my gender wasn't changed or none of that. Um, TD went above and beyond, pulled me to the side, said, look, what needs to be where and what system so we can make sure that your birth name that you do not go by, your dead name is not listed on any platform that any employee see or
Oh,
anything
you gonna
like
make me
that.
cry.
You let us know and we're going to see to it that it happens. And if I found anywhere that name came up where another employee could see, mind you, again, I say this and can't say it enough. My name was not legally changed when TD Bank did this for me. Um, and they made sure that they would get it corrected immediately. The process was easy. It was smooth. When I got everything changed, they took that information from me and I didn't have to lift a finger. They told me, you press this, sign that, do this, do that. They took the paperwork off and it was done. My accounts got switched immediately from a customer standpoint. And I just definitely had to share that with you all because I find that a lot of us we want to support those that are supporting us. And
Yep.
if anyone was on the fence and wasn't sure whether or not TD Bank is truly an advocate for our community and really walks that talk that they're talking. Oh,
Yep.
they do. Baby, do they? So if you are struggling, to find an employer who truly supports you and not just because it's the thing to do, you go on and visit td.com and check out that career section. You hear me? For sure.
Yes,
Definitely.
Yo, thank you so much for
Thank you
sharing your
guys for letting me
story.
share that. Thank you.
We appreciate you
definitely.
sharing.
Honestly, that's beautiful.
We do still have a little bit of time here. Was there anything else at all that anyone would like to add in or share?
I just wanted to, on what you were just speaking on, talking about your experience in the situation and everything. I had started to transition when I was 14 years old. So I went into high school as Giselle. I call myself my dead name still because there was, back then, it was not enough. There was no resources. There was no information. There was no one to look at on TV of my likeness. There was nothing. Only thing I knew is what I felt in my heart. And I knew that the way I felt and what I was seeing in the mirror, it didn't meet each other. So I changed it. And it was very hard being 14 years old, telling your mom that this is what you want and telling your grandparents that this is what you want. This is who you are. And you will not conform for anyone. And when I went to
Right.
school, it was the same thing. And I had so much backlash and so much of a problem. And it wasn't even from the students, it was more so from the staff.
Oh,
The things that these people said to me and the way that they treated me, I'll never forget it. And it's something that'll stay with me for the rest of my life because I wouldn't want any child to feel the way that I felt. And I think that's why I try to do so much, like with my family, with making them understand, because it's after me came a slew of other kids, that came out
Right.
and felt comfortable with being who they authentically were or is. And I tried to sit each and every one of them down to make them understand this is not something, it's not a choice. You choose the way you probably want to present yourself, but you don't
Right.
choose who you are. It's
Right.
the way that you're born. And it's something like that was a problem. And it's something that I still haven't got over at almost 40. I still haven't got over that, and now it's a new day and we're starting to see more representation. We're starting to see more of us, whether you open up a magazine or looking at TV, and that's good. And that's good. But more people need to come around and start to understand that, like, we exist,
Yes.
we are here, we are normal, we are human. There's nothing wrong with us. Ugh, it's a journey, to say the least. It's a journey.
It is. It is.
But I definitely felt everything that you said. I felt everything that you were saying.
Yeah, it's still it's crazy that a
no.
lot of people have that misconception that we make the decision, to be transgender just for our entire community, the
Right.
LGBTQ2 plus community as a whole.
Yeah.
Don't near one of us wake up and say, you know what?
I tell people this all the
Today's the
time.
day I'm gonna be one of the most hated people in America.
Hello.
I'm gonna do it. I'm feeling a little rebellious today. I'm gonna do it. Why would you wake up? I'll never forget when I told my grandmother and my mother, when I first initially came out, I came out identifying as a lesbian, stud lesbian, masculine lesbian. And my grandmother was terrified. She was so upset, and she was she's a devout Christian, always in the church, always involved in the church, but it wasn't because of her religion. She was terrified because she was fearing for my safety,
Oh
you
God.
know. Um, so I mean,
Mhm.
it's just. I mean, we go on and on about that, but it's
Oh
ridiculous
yeah.
that folks still really truly believe, that we choose to just wake up and be this one day. No, we choose to stop fighting an internal fight and be our true selves, be our
Mhm.
authentic selves. That's what we choose to do,
Right.
you know.
Right. Well,
All right.
I thank
I
you guys so much, each and every one of y'all, because like
I really
The
did.
energy that y'all just instilled in me and the passion that y'all just relit in me, I thank each and every one of y'all.
Keep going, baby. We got this. We ain't
Oh
going
yeah,
nowhere. We just getting started. Every last
definitely,
one of us. Real.
definitely.
Real. Um, Next up, I'd like to introduce and pass it over to my fellow TD colleague, Barton Jackson, to wrap up the event for today. Barton, would you kindly highlight some of the resources and initiatives TD currently has to support LGBTQ2 plus entrepreneurs and small businesses?
Thank you so much, Sean. I'm kind of blown away by this panel today, so thank you very much. It is the reason why, back in 2019, I started to come up with this idea for the Own It program, which is a transgender, gender nonconforming, and non-binary entrepreneurial intensive. It is a virtual event that is comprised of three classes that go over research and industry reports and learning about how to be connected and using your identity as a business owner. It goes then into how to create an actual business plan, and then lastly, once you've got your business up and running, where you go from there. And one of the things that the class is very, very much imbued with, and I have to thank Sean Ebony Coleman for his work in helping create the programming, is that your identity, your experiences, your knowledge, and your skill sets, that's what makes your business. And that's what makes your contribution to the marketplace. And that's what makes you valuable. And in all of the stories that the panelists shared today and what you shared, Sean, and is so moving is that you're self-invested, and then there are folks around you that are invested as well. And it's transformative. And you can start from absolutely nothing or have an extensive network behind you. But those that want to find a place to start, Own It is a great class. We connect you with free business advisory. We connect you with mentors that are entrepreneurs in the community. We provide for a 1 free year membership to the New York chapter of the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce to help you get your certification, networking, and additional resources and education. So it's not just about providing a class. While there's the bones there, you're really going to come in with providing the meat and the soul of it. But we'll also provide some platform for community and connection as well. Ideally, it becomes its own scaled program of not just education, but community of gender nonconforming and non-binary, small business owners, and that community and that connectivity spans, across our nation. And so when we get ready for cohort 2, because cohort 1 was so successful, we were able to secure year 2 and secure more money for year 2. So we're really excited about that. You can check out posts that will be done on LinkedIn through both my social and Stephen Garabel's for TD Bank, Sean Coleman, Destination Tomorrow, and then our community partner as well, the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce. So we're looking forward to sharing more information about cohort 2. If you ever have any small business questions, I am a relationship manager at the bank in the Metro New York area, but I also co-chair our Forever Proud BRG, which connects our LGBTQ2 plus employees as well as community in all things community development and business development, or you can also reach out to Stephen Garabel.
Thank you so much for that, Bart.
Thank you.
All right. That has been something. Thank you guys so very much. Similar to what you said, Giselle, I'm so very inspired by being here with you all today. And thank you for the opportunity to host the panel with you all. You guys are so courageous. You know what you're doing, what you continue to do. And it means so very much to me to be able to have served in this event with you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you again, for real. I love this.
Likewise, thank you so much. Appreciate being here.
I got to get a picture of y'all for my social media. So everybody cheese. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Thank you, TD Bank, as well.
Yes, thank you to TD Bank.
The first National Trans Visibility March took place on September 28, 2019 in Washington, D.C. With over 5,300 attendees, this historic event brought together both transgender individuals and allies from all over the United States.
We are tired of fighting for our country on foreign soil and then being told that we are no longer fit to serve. We are tired of our murders going without any justice and our murderers out there free. We want to be free. And that's why we are here.
I want you to repeat after me. I am here. I am here. Yes, ma'am. We need to take back our narrative. We are not victims. We are not statistics. We are not tragedies. We are waiting to thrive, and this is our best year yet, because we aren't here simply to be visible. We are here to be victorious. So when we move forward today, let us press forward with purpose. Let us press forward with passion, and let us know that the fight has just begun.